Okay, in this video, we're going to have a look at the filter feature in Excel. So when this is basically used is, let's assume you've got a data table like we have here, right? Now, this one only has about 40 odd lines. In practice, you could have a data table with thousands of lines. And maybe you don't want to look at all the data. You only want to look at certain of the rows based on certain criteria. So say, for example, I basically wanted to see only those people that were in the Northwest province, like this particular row, for example. So how would I basically go about doing that? That's where the auto filter or the filter feature comes in. We'll first look at the auto filter and then we'll look at another way of doing it as well. So the way to basically apply an auto filter is you click on your heading row. It can be any of the columns in the heading row, and under the data menu option, you then basically go to the sort and filter group and you'll see this icon with the filter. The moment I click on that icon, you'll see these drop downs appear on each of the column headings, and what these drop downs will enable you to do is to filter rows. So let's do an actual example. If I click on the region and I say click all, you'll see it's got the select all ticked on, right? So if I only wanted Northwest, I would first tick the select all, so everything becomes deselected, and then I would only select the Northwest, and then I would say okay, and immediately what it does is you can only now see the rows that are in the Northwest region. Now, it's important to note that this function doesn't delete any of your data. You can see here that the other rows are basically hidden. It's going from row 22, 25, 30, and 42, because those are the rows with Northwest as the region. I don't only have to select one single region. I can click on that icon again, and you can see that this icon, you can see that a filter is being applied to region, because if you compare it to the other drop downs here, these just have an arrow, whereas this particular column has a filter applied to it and it's got a little filter icon. So when you're looking at this sheet, you can immediately see that this icon over here, this filter icon, is different from the other drop downs, right? So I don't only have to actually apply to Northwest. If I click on that drop down, I can then say, for example, decide I also want to add Northern Cape, so Northwest and Northern Cape. And if I say okay, it'll then basically give me the combination of the two. To remove a filter, if I click on this option over here, you can see I can clear the filter from region, and once I do that, the filter is removed from that particular column. Let's actually do one with numbers. Let's say we wanted to see everybody that's worked at the company for between 7 and 10 years. So if I click on this drop down here on the filter drop down for years of employment, so I'm not going to select actual numbers. This is listing each and every option, every sort of years, each of the values that is listed here. If I click on this drop down, these are all listed here. So for a number thing, you typically want to use a number filter, and you can use something like this. You can say between, and we'll use the between one, so we can say between 7 and 10, right? So it's greater than or equal to 7, less than or equal to 10, and if I say okay, you can immediately see that the years of employment for all of these people is between 7 and 10 years. Now, you can apply multiple filters. So I could be saying, look, I want to look at everybody that's between 7 and 10 years from this list, but only those that are in Gauteng. So now if I click on here, I deselect all of these and I only select Gauteng, and I click OK, you can now see that these 4 people have between 7 and 10 years of employment, and they are in Gauteng. Now, you may, if you want to clear all the filters, remember when we clicked on each of these icons here, you can clear the filter just from years of employment. But if you have multiple filters across different columns and you'd like to clear them all in one go, on the menu you have this clear option over here. And if I click on the clear, it'll clear all the filters. You can see there's no filters being applied, just the drop downs are now available. And now in this particular state, all your data is viewable. The other thing you could also look at is, let's say we're looking at the actual sales, right? So if I click on this drop-down option here, you'll see that under the number filters, I have a lot of different options. I can see who are the top 10 salespeople. So if I click on top 10, and I'll say it's the top 10, now you got 2 options, the top 10% or the top 10 items. Let's first do the top 10 items. So this will actually give you 10 different people, 10 different people. And these 10 people over here, are the top 10 salespeople across the board, right? So that's based on the actual sales. If we looked at the top 10%, if I click on this number filters, you can see it shows that there's a tick on here. So when I click on this drop down, I can see this tick on here indicates that a number filter is being applied to this particular column. And when I actually hover over it, it shows me that it's the top 10. If I click on that, I can change it to the top 10%. and I click on OK, and now it's only giving me 4 people because there was about 40 odd salespeople on this list. So 10% of that would make up 4 people, and the top 10% in terms of the sales would be these 4 people. So you can actually see that on the numbers you have a lot of different options. I mean, you can also look at, where it's equal to an exact number or not equal to an exact number. But very often you'll use these where it's greater than or equal to, less than, or between some range. You could also look at above average and below average. So if I clicked on above average, those are all of the salespeople that are above the average sales. So what this would have done is it would have first calculated the average sales across all of the salespeople, and then only filtered out those that had a sales value here where the actual sales was greater than the average sales. Again, remember, you can simply click on the clear button to basically clear out all of the filters.